Hello and welcome to the ninth session of Monday Morning Mojo, a program created and brought to you by Finewealth, where we use words wisely to equip you with the power to convert your talents, passions, and skills to worthwhile, decent, income-generating activities. I'm your mentor, Magdalene Kamawotieno. Karibu. Now, I hope you actually had a beautiful week, a really, really beautiful week. Because mine was, I had a beautiful weekend and an awesome one, and it would be good to know how you're faring. So, could you please leave me a comment below and let me know how your week has been? Well, before we end the first minute of a conversation, I want us to discuss as an area that you use a lot of times when you meet new people. Small talk. The power of small talk. In your life, in your business, in anything, the power of small talk. Now, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, small talk in business is that conversation that kind of leads to nowhere. You're not talking about anything in particular, but it is normally between people who are meeting for the first time. So if you've been to networking events or you've met someone for the first time, probably at the bus stop, or they walk into your office and where you're employed or your own office, that initial conversation to try and break the ice, that is small talk. Of course, there is some ugly small talk which leads to nowhere, adding no benefit, and that is not something I would want to recommend. But today I want us to talk about small talk and the power of small talk, the favors it has brought into many people's lives, and how specifically, not just the favors, but how it has helped me as a person, and how I wish it would help you. Now, I want us to look at small talk from a totally different perspective. Forget the events. Forget anything else that you have thought of small talk in business. I want us to talk of small talk in the family. I mean, back home. Not just because maybe you're not married and I am, so you're thinking like, what do we have in common? But there's small talk where you actually meet someone for the first time. For example, your gate man, the guy who stands at the entrance of your flat. Watchman, gate man, call him the way you want, or gate man in Nigerian. That guy, how many times do you say hi to him? Okay, maybe we go a little bit further because you meet the gate man almost every other time, so kind of you're obliged to say hi. How many times do you say hi to the guy who collects your garbage? You probably meet once or twice in a week, if at all. There are times that you might have gone to the office, so you kind of don't might meet with the guy at all. But the one time you meet with this guy, do you ever say hi? Do you convert that hi into something better? Or do you just wash him with the negative things that have been happening about the garbage? Because that's the first thing we're inclined to do, to complain, and end up going nowhere, end up in fights. How about the person who sells to you groceries? How often do you actually say hi? You see, there's a tendency to go straight into, get me a packet of this, get me a kilo of sugar, get me this, and you don't even say hi. How will you ever know this guy if you just go straight into what you want? Now, I want us to go into a situation which I want to show you why small talk will actually work into your favor. The power of small talk can actually give you a great relationship. It can lead to great business, and most of all, it can lead to awesome, awesome life. Let me give you a good example. I have realized that I have a habit. When I meet with people for the first time and something tells me that I need to say hi, which is more often than not, I say hello and go straight to a compliment. Like, I like the way you wear your hat, because of course I wear a hat. So I like hats. And even if they're like uniform hats, I still say hi and compliment about hats. The other thing is, like, I like boots. I don't own a pair of boots except my safety boots, but for whatever reason, I find them a turn on. I have no idea why. And I like colors, and I love color yellow, though you haven't seen me wear yellow. But I like complimenting people who have things that I like. So my first day will be like, hi, I like your hat. I like the way you wear your hat. Now, if I meet Mr. Grumpy, he goes like, okay. I have met a lot of Mr. Grumpies at the entrance of my flat. Now, the interesting thing is that Mr. Grumpy, by the time we hit 14 days, is no longer Mr. Grumpy. So mostly Mr. Grumpy will be in form of the watchman. So we have to pass by the place of his place of work because he actually stands at the entrance and he's in charge of watching out who's coming in and who's going out. He's also in charge of checking on cars. So Mr. Grumpy day one will go, hi, that's just not the way we wear the hearts. And by day two, it's like, hi, how was your night? If he's the night guy. Hi, how is your day? And of course, Mr. Grumpy realizes I'm not going to get rid of this woman. So he's going to say more than just hi. And then by day three, I'll be trying to find out his work. Like what is, by the way, how do you find this kind of work that you do? And it's interesting that Mr. Grumpy by this time, who happens to be my watchman, will have changed the attitude because he realizes he can't just get rid of the woman who just keeps saying hi. I'm the blabby one here. So by the 14th day, there are things that for sure, if I meet this gateman or this watchman for 14 days consecutively, or at least 14 days in a month, there's a very good chance I'll know his name, I'll know where he comes from, I'll know more about his boss, I will know whether he has a family. And I know you're thinking that's so intrusive. No, it's not. I actually find this very exciting. But the best of the part of my life that I find so important about that fast small talk that leads to all this is that I get to know what I can do for this guy to just make his life better. I've met a lot of watchmen who actually have, they travel for distances, crazy kilometers to get to work. I remember there's one who actually told me, like, we're not offered bicycles anymore for whatever reason. So he had seen me park a bicycle and I wasn't using it. And he was like, why don't you sell to me this bicycle over a long time? I'll pay you. I told him, you know what, don't even pay. Just pick the bicycle. Because it was going to get spoiled there by parking it the whole time. Well, he left. But I feel nothing. I don't feel hurt that he left with the bicycle because in the first place, I gave it out to make his life better. So think of the favors that you can actually get. Let me give you the 3 favors that I actually get, and I know you can get by just simply having a small talk. And I'll give you an example of a small talk that has worked for me in the last 1 week. There are favors that I get. The first thing is that because I say hi so many times to these people from just the first word of complimenting, of just breaking the ice, that small talk thing, it yields to getting favors. There are watchmen who will notice we have a water issue where I live. So when the water comes, when the tap starts flowing with the clean water, the first bell they ring is my bell. And we are like 8 of us in the flat. And they call me first. And then they let me know that there's enough water so I can bring down my container so they can fill water for me. And I don't even need to sit there for that water to be filled. They do that for me. So they volunteer important information, whether it's security, presence of water, presence of the guy who comes with a cart to sell potatoes or tomatoes. They alert me that, oh, the guy passes here and he's selling at this price. Would you want me to pick for you tomorrow? Then you can pay him through M-Pesa. M-Pesa is our mobile transfer, a mobile money transfer system in Kenya, which is owned by Safaricom, our largest mobile telecommunication service. And I can assure you this, I wouldn't get those favors if I didn't start with a small talk and then went on to find out more. You know, the 14-day thing? Yes. The other thing that I do, I find the favors that I've also seen out of small talk is knowing what I can do for this person. You see, life is not all about getting, it's also about giving. And I find pleasure in giving. For me, giving is a turn on. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel human. I know you're thinking like giving is something you do a favor. No, I don't do that as a favor. It's something that makes me feel human because I've helped someone reach a goal that probably weren't going to meet. So like when I'm disposing my kids' books, textbooks from school, the first person who benefits is the guy at the gate or the guy who collects my garbage. Why? Because we have a very good relationship, courtesy of small talk. And then there's the other thing, it's finding out whether the guy is dependable. Have you ever been offered a service by someone who you actually started suspecting, like, this guy isn't straight? Now, if you don't have that kind of small talk at the beginning, you will be surprised when he wakes up and disappears with stuff. I remember there's a time we were served for about 2 months by a guy who was on drugs. And we have house helps who are living in the same flat. And they stay the whole day. And I was wondering how safe they are if we have the guy at the entrance who's supposed to be stopping unnecessary, like controlling the entrance and exit of other humans. I was wondering how safe we are with a guy who is on drugs, yet we have children and house helps upstairs. How safe are we? Because the guy was literally using marijuana, he was injecting himself, and after I raised up in the chat group, the flats chat group, and we decided we had to tell the landlord, can you get us someone else? Because you see, that guy is hired by the landlord. So we asked him, can you get some? Go back to the company that gave you this guy and ask for someone else, because we're not safe with this guy. And for sure, by the time we reported, he actually realized that he was also losing, but he hadn't noticed how these things that he was selling were actually getting lost. It was courtesy of the guy who was using drugs, because he needed to service his habit. So it's very funny that these three favors come in, and you don't just get to benefit yourself, you benefit other people as well, courtesy of small talk. Now, last week, and now this is, I want to show you how it has worked for me, like really worked for me in the last 1 week. Last week we had an issue of garbage collection. I live in this flat and we are 8 of us. 5 of us are using a system, a consistent system where we actually have one person collecting our garbage and we pay to this guy. Funny enough, for whatever reason, for a whole week this guy did not collect garbage. And I started noticing that this guy actually had caused this problem earlier. So we were having a problem with garbage collection. And I noticed that the first thing I should do is that this guy, I already had a relationship with him courtesy of small talk. We were already in a talking conversation. So when I called him to tell him that we're having this as a problem, he actually told me, he opened up and told me that he was having a problem with the guy he had subcontracted. So this was a problem. So at this level, the small talk had come to a point where the guy would open up and say facts. You know what I did? I went back to my phone and checked my list of garbage collectors. And guess who I meet? A guy whom I meet like once in 3 months. And this guy had worked for me between 2012 and 2015. Guess who I called? That guy. And today, our compound is clean. The garbage was collected and he cleaned the entire area where the garbage had been littered. It had piled up. You might be wondering, then why would I want to share this? It's because besides the favors, I need you to realize this. 3 things that small talk can do for you. 1, it will help you connect with people who can do things you're not competent to do, because they're actually on their list. The minute you have a small talk, you extend it to a relationship, you get the number. So they get to do the things that you're not competent to do. I'm not competent at garbage collection, surely. I don't know how I'm supposed to dispose it. But this guy knows. And courtesy of that, an hour after we talked, he came and did the cleanup. The second thing is that you actually get in touch with people who can do things that you don't want to do. Because sometimes you're competent. I'm competent when it comes to laundry, but I really, 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 really hate laundry. Like, seriously, I hate doing laundry. I only do it because it has to be done. But I have a list of people who can do that for me. And the third thing is that because of this kind of relationships that I've formed, in my estate, or in my flat, I'm referred to as the problem solver. You're wondering, like, how? If I have the list of people who can do things that I'm not competent to do, and the list of people who can do things that I don't want to do, then don't you think that I get to share this list with everybody in my flat? You want an electrician? Talk to Magdalene. You want a guy to collect your garbage, maybe when you're doing a cleanup elsewhere? Talk to Magdalene. You want someone who can bring for you water in the house? You know the drill. Talk to? Yes, talk to Magdalene. So not only have I become a problem solver in my own house, but I'm a problem solver in other people's houses. At this point, you're wondering, so how is this important? Now think of the relationships that I'm now connecting, or I'm getting into, with not just people who are earning less than I am, or who can do things that I don't want to do, but the people who have things that I want. Think about it. Some of the people that I live with in my flat, the people who have apartments in my flat, you can imagine how they feel about me being able to step in for them. Like when they have a power issue, I call my electrician to sort it out, and they tell me, by the way, now that you've called your electrician, could you also pass by my house? And because I work from home, I'm able to do that for them. Now you can imagine, if I had a problem, my neighbors would come in faster than your neighbors who don't actually think of you as a problem solver. True? Courtesy of small talk. That hi, that how are you doing, that how can I help you, What can I do for you to make your life better? That small talk has yielded to great relationships, great business, and an awesome life. And that's one thing I'd want you to consider. Instead of walking past people that you meet with every day without saying hello, come on, tone down on this thing. Like just get a natural turn on just saying hi to people and finding out what you can do for them, because in return they'll want to return that favor. The three things that you will benefit from small talk as I recap and we end this session. One is that you get valuable, sensitive information. It's volunteered to you this fast. One. Number two, you get to know how you can make someone else's life better. And number three, you get to know whether the person you're dealing with is actually dependable, courtesy of small talk. How it has worked for me: number one, now I know people who can do things that I'm not competent to do. Number two, I know people who can do things that I'm not very excited to do. And number three is that now I'm considered a problem solver, which is an advantage for me because I'm able to give my all to anybody who lives in my flat, anyone who is connected to me. And by the way, I can tell you this for a fact. There are a lot of people today who will tell you, I've got this employee courtesy of Magdalene, or I got this job courtesy of Magdalene. I'm not here to show off. Sikuringi, I'm not trying to show off. I'm only simply saying you can use your life better than just getting a salary or earning some money. Relationships take you further and make your life awesome. I'm your mentor, Magdalene Kamau Otieno. You deserve a super productive week where you get great relationship, great business, and an awesome life courtesy of small talk. This is the power of small talk. Remember, you're on a mission, do it, leave it.